Sounds pretty good, right? Welcome to Brant B Guitar. Please subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions or comments, you can leave those below. This is going to be a great bar chord lesson, a beginner acoustic bar chord lesson. And what I'm going to be doing today is giving you tips, tricks, and techniques to make bar chords easier, and so your hands and fingers don't fall off. When you start learning bar chords, when you go straight into the bar chords, it's very challenging because you have to bar all 6 across without learning how to bar correctly in practice. So I've developed a system of breaking it down, and we're going to go into that right now. Step number 1, 2 strings across, your B and high E. The technique is you're pinching it, thumb and index finger. Here's the other technique that you want. This is hard to show and teach, but it's a feel thing. Now when I pinch, do you see what happens? I'm not a doctor or a scientist, but this is a knuckle. Whatever this finger part is going skyward. Watch again. So I'm pushing in, and it creates this valley within the finger. That's something you need when you start getting your first basic bar chord. Without that, it becomes challenging. So our first exercise, 2 strings, index finger arched, just like this. And we're going to go to the 12th fret and back. Here we go. Remember, you're going to want some water with this exercise, so have your water bottle ready, because it's going to be a workout. I'm going to reverse now. Now, when moving up a fret, release the tension and glide to the next one. Pushing, release, push. Okay? So, next we're going to do 3 strings across. 3, the finger doesn't arch as much as with 2. Here we go. 3 across. It's a little bit straighter. You can arch it a little bit, but not as much as the 2. Keep pushing, keep pushing. Fingers may hurt, but that's normal. Going back. Now, you may feel pressure here within your wrists. That's normal. The more you keep doing this, I'd recommend a little bit each day. Don't overdo it. Over time, it's going to strengthen your fingers and your hand and all the muscles, and it's going to become easier. Before we go to 4 across, barring 4 across, 5 across, and 6 across, I want to show you some other things. The next step to a basic bar chord is this shape. Ultimately, this is the full shape we're trying to get to. But I have 2 prior shapes to show you before getting to this one. Okay, so index finger is going to bar the 3rd fret on the B and the high E. Middle finger hooks around and is going to hit the 4th fret of the G string. Now this is what I see a lot when teaching people bar chords. It's all that arch. Remember you did the arch? Remember you guys did the arch? Now the middle finger needs to hook. If it starts going like that, that's where you start getting the muted strings. So this arches and this kind of has to arch too. Now let's try that and move it up to the 12th fret and back. Here we go. Keep going. Even if you don't get the sound you like, just keep on going. You're working your fingers out. Going backwards. Next shape is going to be, it's a basic triad, no barring, because then we're going to go into the full bar chord version. Ring finger on the 5th of the D, middle finger on the 4th of the G, index finger on the 3rd of the B. These 3 notes. So you're hitting the D string, the G, and the B. Okay, we're going to do that same thing. Remember, you're on the tips, you're arched. Here we go. 1. Now, if moving up you hear some of that sound, that's kind of inevitable on the acoustic guitar. That's going to happen. Okay, so let's go to the full bar shape. It's that triad, but now we're barring. Okay, so you're barring here, 3rd fret, middle hooks over to the 4th of the G, ring on the 5th of the D. Now, when doing this, it all may go down the tube, and something like this might happen. If you can't get this, that's okay. You just keep working on the others every day and building up, and then one day you'll do this and it'll become easy. It's like yoga for the fingers. The fingers and the muscles need to stretch. You're learning how to stretch. Here we go. Let's try that. Should get a little bit easier as you go up the neck. Coming back now. Remember to breathe. Okay, if you have your water bottle, now's a good time to take a water break. All right, so back into it. Let's try shoot for 4 across, then we're going to do 5 across and 6 across. I'm going to give you some tips. This is where it starts to get a little bit tricky. What I also tend to do, if you see my index finger, the thumb is a little bit ahead of the index, so it's pushing like this, or pushing in together. Here's 4 across. You want to make sure you can get them to sound right. All right, let's move it up one at a time. Okay, let's shoot for 4 across. Let's shoot for 5 across now. So when you start doing 5 and 6 across, your index finger can slightly tilt a little bit to the left. So you're almost hitting it a little bit on the sides. Now what that'll do is when you do a full bar chord, you'll then have space for these fingers to go on, and they're going to stretch a little bit easier. Versus if it's straight on like this, it's going to feel a little bit awkward. That's a trick. Okay, so again, arching it a little bit to the left. Try your best here. If you can't get the full sound, that's okay. Here we go. Now, even for me on this guitar, it was difficult to get to the 12th fret. So if you want to just take it to the, depending on what guitar you're using and where the cutoff point is, 10th, 11th fret is fine, and then you can go back. Now, the other thing you don't want to do is, I even noticed my middle finger was doing this, but it wasn't pushing on the index finger. You don't want to do this and push, because that's cheating, and you're not going to get anywhere with that. Remember, just the index finger. Let's shoot for all 6. And we're going to go to the 10th fret and back. Here we go. Water break again if you need one, because this is a lot of pressure with the left hand. Really have to push. Here we go. Okay, so that's your basic bar chord exercise lesson. Now I'd practice all of those if you can. It may take some time to develop. Let's go into what the full shapes are very quickly, and then I want to show you also some ring finger exercises that you can do. So usually when you bar 5 across, you're going to be playing a minor chord. So that full version looks like this. If you can't get it, don't worry about it. Barring 5 across on the 3rd fret, ring finger hooks over to the 5th of the D, pinky on the 5th of the G, middle finger on the 4th of the B. And again, you can take those chords and move them up and down the neck. Let's go into what the full bar chord would be for a major chord using 6 strings across. So it's pretty much the same shape as the minor chord you just did. All 6 across on the 3rd, ring finger on the 5th of the A, pinky on the 5th of the D, middle finger on the 4th of the G. Now what might happen is these fingers may not want to go there. You can take your right hand and kind of force them into place. Another thing you can do, another trick, the index finger, you can put it up so it goes a little bit above that low E string, so it's kind of hanging out there. That gives you a little bit more power when you're pushing. Again, you'll find your form when you do this, the more you do it. Okay, so let's move on to some ring finger exercises because sometimes the ring finger does some barring. So we'll do that same exercise with the ring finger, but now we're just going to do 2 strings across here. Again, if you see, the ring finger has that arch again there. It's almost like pushing into it, so you don't want to be like that. You want to have that nice little valley there. Okay, let's shoot for 3 strings across. This is going to be it for this one. Same idea. Go slow with this. Again, it's going to feel weird, I know. Going back. So, another bar chord shape. Let's go into the challenging one. We've been sticking on the 3rd fret mostly. This is called C major. What'll happen is the index isn't doing any barring. The index is just hitting the 3rd fret of the A, and the ring finger is going to bar. This is kind of tricky. The D, the G, and the B. Now what the ring finger does is it's not flat and barring the high E. It's that arch, and it's hooked up, and it's only hitting those 3, but it does hit that a little bit. It's not pushing it down. So when you play it, if you make a mistake and you strum on the high E, it won't ring out because it's being muted. But you want to arch that. This is a bit tricky. Let's try this together. If this is too difficult, you can always rewind and do some of the... You can always rewind and do what you can. Here we go. We're only going to take this up to the 9th fret and then come back. I need some water after that. Even you still get a little bit sore no matter how long you've been doing this for. It still does sometimes hurt. Okay, last exercise. Here we go. Just a basic. So you can do this with bar chords too. That's pretty much the same chord you just did, but you just don't play the B string. Let's try this on the low E, A, and D strings. This is going to be your last exercise for today. Again, you want that arch. It's inevitable that your ring finger is also kind of going to bar and hit that G string, but the idea is you control it with your right hand pick so you don't hit the G string. Here we go. Coming back. That's at the 10th fret. Okay, that's it for today's lesson. Remember to keep on practicing the bar chords. Take it slow. If the fingers start hurting, stop. Do what you can. Maybe 5-10 minutes a day and you start building the strength and stamina up in the fingers. Maybe all you can do is 2 or 3 strings across. So you keep doing that for a few days, then you can start getting 4 strings, 5 strings. You get the idea. This is Brant B Guitar signing off. Remember to click the subscribe button if you have any questions or comments, or you want to learn a song or any technique, leave that below. All right.